Why Gen Z is suddenly obsessed with DVDs? Well, looking at the DVDs that he is holding, because they are great movies, these are all good movies. All of this are great movies. Almost all of them. I mean, E.T. is a good movie. Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, Terminator 2. I don't know these down here. This might actually be AI. There might be some AI in there. But yeah. So let's see. Let's see what it is. My guess is that you can get movies on DVD that you can't get on streaming services. You know, like really old movies and movies that are politically incorrect and have politically incorrect themes. That might be one thing. Also, buying one DVD, you know, if you have it, you have it. It's literally yours. If you pay for a streaming service, you pay for the streaming service. Oh, you found a great movie on the streaming service. Great. Now they're losing the license to have to show you the movie, and now the movie's gone. We are still paying for it. Great, isn't it? That's most likely why. But let's see.
In 2014, the dying DVD giant Blockbuster shut its doors for good. The age of the DVD was over. Streaming had put the entire industry to bed, and that chapter of history was done. At least, that's what it looked like. Because in 2023, a beloved movie store in Los Angeles reopened its doors, and it's exploded with popularity.
Oh.
Okay, no big deal. That's just
Sure.
one store. Then, reports started releasing stating that rental stores across the US are on a rise. Weird. And strangest of all, because of growth in sales, Barnes & Noble is actually expanding its section of physical media.
Wow, that's surprising. Because in Germany, it's still getting smaller. I was in a big chain. I got me all the Back to the Future movies in a box, in a DVD box. I didn't go for Blu-ray because the movies are so old that they literally look better on DVD than Blu-ray. If you get them on Blu-ray, they are being artificially enhanced, and that, in my eyes, makes the movies look worse. I don't want to see the actors' pores on their faces. It's I don't want to see that. And also, older movies just look better, and they are better. The storytelling is better because it's not made for stupid people, unlike modern movies, which a lot of them are literally just made for stupid people. Now, don't get me wrong. There's no problem with a stupid movie being fun. I mean, I watch that all the time. But the thing is, there are a lot of movies that are just fun that are also smart. Even comedies like Spaceballs 2. The entire movie is a parody of Star Wars. And it works. It works. Why? Because the maker, what's his name? Mel Brooks. He likes Star Wars, and that's why it works. Now they actually have started working on a second movie now. 40 years later. We will see. Mel Brooks is almost 100 years old now, so yeah. He might not even be able to see it being finished, if it will come out at all.
So instead of being dead like we thought, physical media isn't disappearing at all. In fact, in some places, it's actually expanding. Gen Z has become obsessed with tangible DVDs, vinyls, and CDs. There are so many streaming services today, and the studies show that we are sick of all the subscriptions. Cancellations are on the rise, and especially with young people. This video is going to talk.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not a young person, but I have cancelled my Netflix subscription, I don't know when, years ago, years and years and years ago. because they just didn't have any movies that I want to watch or shows. So why would I watch them? And even at home, I mean, I ordered 3 movies lately. I think last week or the week before. No, the week before. The first two Evil Dead movies and Godzilla -1. I've watched the first Evil Dead movie last week or the week before. I think the week before was great. One of the best movies ever made. And I mean that literally. And you can tell where the budget went into the special effects. I'm gonna watch the second Evil Dead. I don't know when. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. And Godzilla -1, I got, but it's not here yet. I got because the next movie is coming to theaters soon, and I wanna watch that in the theater. I didn't with Godzilla -1 because I was like, yeah, theater, it's so expensive and blah, and I don't wanna go. But yeah, I think I will go. I watched Shin Godzilla in theaters, and it was great. That by the way, that movie is great. It's awesome. So yeah, and I've only heard good things about Godzilla -1, so I'm looking forward to watching that one on Blu-ray. And yeah, gonna be awesome. And then in a while into theaters, yeah, for the next Godzilla movie. Awesome. I'm actually looking forward to that. This year is the first year where I in ages, in years, right? Where I'm actually looking forward to movies that come into theaters. That's almost unheard of. Almost. Because I don't remember the last time before this year where I was actually like, oh my god, yeah, this is awesome. I wanna go to the theater. I think that was Godzilla -1, but I didn't went because I was like, yeah, theaters, no. But I do look forward to the next Godzilla movie. My only problem is that it will be dubbed, because at least in my theater, getting to see the original version with subtitles is almost impossible. Man, I don't like dubs anymore. But that's... Oh my god, yeah. Back in the day, before I only watched movies in, English, because, American movies, or in Japanese with subtitles, anime, I had no problem with movies and shows being dubbed into German, because they was decently done, right? And I would say that the quality of the dubs today compared to back in the day, like in the 2000s and before, has gone down massively. Massively. I think dubs today are so bad, at least in Germany, that it's unwatchable or almost unwatchable. It's horrible. It literally is.
Talk about 3 reasons why DVDs are on the rise, because it's a really good thing. I remember when Netflix first came out. It was the best thing ever. You could watch anything you wanted without having to move your body or wait for shipping. And I love things that are convenient, and Netflix made watching movies very convenient. I still think that's true. Streaming platform.
It is, yes, if you have a fast internet connection, which you need.
Make the quality of my life a lot higher, and I like them because of that. There's a reason that millions of people are subscribed to these services. However, as with anything, there are downsides to massive changes in our consumption patterns. With all of Netflix and Prime Video and HBO Max's benefits, there is one major drawback. Streaming doesn't allow ownership.
Exactly.
We pay several $100s.
And that's why it exists. Because the people, the globalists, they want you to be the pay piggies forever. That's why all the subscription stuff exists. Not for your convenience. That is just how they get you.
A year for these services, and by the end of it, there's nothing to show for it. This is a problem for two reasons.
You can literally spend hundreds of dollars on a subscription, right? And what if the server shut down? I mean, it's not even that, oh yeah, the company goes bankrupt or something like that. It's just, what if there's an outage of the internet? What if just that happens? Now you don't have the movies. And that happens exactly on a weekend where you have invited all your friends and you wanted to watch certain movies. And now you can't. Now, if you have a DVD or a Blu-ray, you still can't. The only thing that you need is electricity. And yes, you can argue, oh, but what if electricity is off? Yeah, but then streaming is also off. You know. And you still can just do another time of when electricity is back in a couple of hours or whatever. You can't find things to do with your friends without electricity when they come over. That's not hard. I mean, imagine you could talk. Imagine that, talking with your friends or playing board games. By the way, board games awesome, especially if you're a family. Play board games with your kids. That's one of the things I remember fondly of my childhood, playing board games.
First, it's psychologically uncomfortable. Every person has some form of a desire to own a part of this earth. Because there are so many uncertainties in life. We don't know what's coming in the future, and that uncertainty will always give us anxiety. So one way that people have fought against this honestly sobering reality is to own things that cannot be taken away from us.
Exactly.
Having a place or possessions that you know with 100% certainty will be there for you provides all sorts of psychological security. That's why it's an idealistic American dream to own your own house rather.
Not only in America, but the thing is, if you then have to pay a bunch of taxes on the thing that you own, do you really own it? Because what if you lose your job and now you can't pay the taxes on it? Now the government comes and takes it away. So did you own it? Food for thoughts.
Than pay as a renter. And why owning land is so attractive to people. In our generation, we've lost the stability knowing that our media will guaranteed be there for us. The second reason it's a problem, subscribing to these services trades ownership for access. And that access can be taken away at any moment. We don't have control over what we watch anymore. And what exists today might not exist tomorrow. It's kind of similar.
For example, shows or movies that only exists on a streaming platform, and then the movie, no one watches the movie and then now it's gone. And it's completely gone. There is no possibility that a failed bad movie that's on one streaming platform can become a cult classic of a bad movie and be part of culture. That's now impossible. Unlike back in the day, you had bad movies being out on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, and they're cult classics like The Room from I forgot how its name is, like literally the Room with oh my god, you know the hi Mark, how are you? How's your sex life? That The Room. If that would be on a streaming platform, would flop, it would never become a cult classic, a cult movie of a bad movie, Could have never happened. Same with Goblins? Goblins 2? I think that's how it's called. How it's called? Really, really bad movie. I think it flopped and then became a cult classic. Back in the 80s it came out and then became a cult classic. It's now almost impossible. And it is impossible if it comes out only on streaming platform and then it flops. Like I said. Not going to happen.
To the differences between capitalism and communism. In a communist society, the government, Netflix, tells you the price, tells you what you can watch, removes the right to watch certain things, and doesn't give you anything to own for yourself.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
exactly.
Netflix, to compare you to the Soviet Union. I think you're a lot better than that. It's just to drive home my point. Gen Z has grown up in this...
The thing it isn't. It's literally controlled by the same people. If you know, you know.
Environment. And some of the younger portion of Gen Z never knew what it was like to not stream. And the crazy thing is...
Oh, I completely forgot about that part. Oh my god, yes, you are right. A huge amount of young people don't know that that even is a thing, that, you know, not streaming. I completely forgot about... Oh my god. See, I'm so old that I didn't even think about that thing. That you can grow up not knowing that there's something else than streaming. Oh my god. Oh my god. No, this is a reason why videos like that are important to have. To remind people like me that, oh my god, there are people that don't know a world without streaming. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I can see where there are huge problems with that, yeah. But I also think you can, you know, just tell people, just if you have 20 people that don't know, but they have one friend that does, you know, because of his parents, you know, or family or whatever, and then he, you know, oh yeah, invites his friends to watch movies, but not on streaming, on DVDs and things like that. That can have a massive impact on the people that don't know that, you know, there was something else than just streaming.
If you look around, it's not just movies. We stopped owning music and turned to Spotify. People bought fewer books and listened to them on Audible. And even software on our computers like Adobe are accessed only with a subscription. It's everywhere.
About the books, you know, Amazon just made it impossible for you to download the books, your ebooks. But you can still download them, but you can't access them unless you have an internet connection. You're fucked. And that's why I don't have ebooks, I have actual books. Which is also nice. Having books in your shelf looks nice. Even if it's just that.
It crept up on us, and we didn't realize at the time what exactly we were giving up. But the tides are turning. Now a generation is finally waking up to the fact that they own nothing, and they're making moves to go against it.
Good. Good. Taking back control. Exact. Perfect. That's how you do it.
Gen Z is waking up to the fact that ownership gives control. We have always known that large corporations have a lot of influence and power over what we consume, and we were always able to navigate through that reality. But the explosion of AI has really put these power scales on completely different playing fields. It used to be that teams of people thought of the best way to control your watching patterns. And now it's supercomputers trained on the whole entire history of the internet. That is what we're up against. It's not a winnable battle anymore. People are looking at AI right now and feeling genuine concern about how powerful and finely tuned it has become to us. Privacy really doesn't feel like a normal thing these days. You know what, Claude?
Well, yeah, because the globalists don't want that. They don't want you to have privacy. That's why everything has a camera, everything has a microphone, everything is connected to the internet. So they can spy on you. Your phone spies on you. Your Alexa spies on you. The microphone of your Alexa is always open. Always. If you get your back blown out by your husband in the kitchen and there's an Alexa, Amazon knows. They hear that. They hear all of it. Just so you know.
Opus can't control, though, a handheld CD, nor can it control the pages of a book when you're flipping through them. When the United States fought a war against Afghanistan, they brought over the most sophisticated and expensive weapon systems on the planet. There was no way the local Afghans could match this level of firepower. Still,
Sure.
they found a way to make this war last 2 decades, despite the overwhelmingly large disadvantages.
Yes, but you know that there is a huge likelihood that companies in the West and the globalists made that happen, because we could have just gone there and killed everyone. We could have done that easy. I mean, I literally mean that's easy. Just kill everyone. It's not hard. That's why it took so long.
Staying developed amongst them to work out this exact problem. Use low-tech solutions to solve high-tech problems.
Yeah.
If there was a satellite surveying the ground and you were trying not to be seen, instead of trying to destroy it or disable its technical advantages, what if you were just to make some homemade camouflage and hide underneath it?
Yeah.
It would cost you $15. And that found a way to beat a multi-million-dollar machine. Don't fight fire with fire. Play a different game. Look, the printing press for books was invented almost 600 years ago. And
Yep.
by all means considered, it's...
By the way, they were invented in Germany and in China about at the same time, even, I think. So it was invented twice, in Germany and in China. Just a little bit of knowledge. And yes, there can be one invention in different places, even at the same time. That's not hard. Or at different times. Yeah, of course. You think an idea is only being had by one person? No.
something very low-tech. Use that low-tech solution to take back control. How frustrating would it be to develop the world's most advanced AI model and somebody used a book to counteract it? I'm not calling for a revolution in the
Yep.
streets against big tech, but it's to our mental health advantage to rebalance our dependence on them. Use big tech as much as you want, and at the same time, be sure you have a portion of your life outside of its reach. Gen Z is buying so many DVDs because it takes us out of the big tech system and it puts us in our own short and closed loop. With DVDs, there are only 2 things involved: the DVD itself and the DVD player.
And the TV.
Blu-ray, if you want bonus points or something. No suggestions, and best of all, there's no algorithms. You don't need all the servers and the Wi-Fi and the accounts and the access. You just need electricity and a TV.
Yes, and the thing here is that I absolutely believe that having DVDs and Blu-rays and Blu-ray players and DVD players and stuff like that is actually better. And because it uses less electricity and resources to produce and maintain, because you don't actually have to maintain it. If you have a building full of servers, you have to maintain all of that. And of course, all the material that you need to make the servers and the building. And then you need the electricity, and the servers run 24/7 on full load all the time. That's bad. I can guarantee you that the servers use up more electricity than DVD players and TVs. Because they need to. I mean, they are running 24/7. So there is no, oh yeah, people don't watch things, so they don't use electricity. No, the electricity is being used the entire time. Why? Because the servers have to run. They are literally worse than Blu-rays and DVDs. Also for the environment. I mean, Blu-rays and DVDs, you can resell them. If you are like, yeah, okay, that movie sucks, should have known, should have not been buy it, you can sell them or give them away. as a present or whatever. But which also is something that, you know, the people up there don't want you to do. Because they want money. They want your money.
That is control. We're not
This is very
seeing this
important.
economic trend where DVD sales are skyrocketing and Netflix stock is plummeting. No, Netflix is doing just fine. DVD sales will never be like they were before streaming. Their days on top of the world are gone forever. What Gen Z is doing is
Most likely, maybe. To be fair, we don't know. We don't know.
creating a boutique market for DVDs where they can express themselves apart from the internet. This generation is breaking out of the singular mold of algorithms, and they're forming their own unique taste and identities. Buying
Which is good.
DVDs and other physical media brings me to the final point I want to make: the development of the individual person. A lot of young people have fallen in love with record players and with vinyls because they're aesthetically pleasing, and their music
Yeah.
function is entirely analog. I'm honestly still mind blown by these things. I have an easier time accepting how Bluetooth works than how a record player does. Having a record player in your house and a vibrant collection does the same exact thing that art does. People come over and they fawn over your albums and they judge your taste, what you like and what you don't like. Sure, you can put all these songs on a Spotify playlist, but it's just not the same. And the big
Yeah, because it's not physical. You can't see it. That's the thing. And when it comes to, I don't know, figuring out someone's taste, it's easier to just go and look into someone's shelf where you have books, DVDs, Blu-rays, whatever, right? I mean, if you look at my shelves, you would definitely say that, yeah, this guy likes anime. He also likes science fiction, fantasy. Oh yeah, he likes The Lord of the Rings. He likes Star Wars, yeah. The old stuff. And with all, I also have to include episode 1 to 3. Because they are now old. The thing is, my taste in movies is actually very diverse. I have comedies here, horror movies, science fiction, fantasy. I can see there Dawn of the Dead, Back to the Future, Shobits, anime, Full Metal Panic, anime, Love Hina, anime, Pirates of the Caribbean, Batman, The Goonies, fantastic movie. The Goonies is a fantastic movie. If you have kids, let them watch The Goonies. It's so good. So good. We have Evil Dead. We have Spaceballs. We have Army of Darkness. Halloween, the first one. The very first one. The Matrix movies, the first 3. Terminator 1 and 2. Total Recall, both movies. Only one of them is good. Actually good. Don't even remember. I think I watched the second one once. Maybe twice. The Alien movies and Prometheus. Oh, Prometheus. Disgusting. Yeah. You can see a lot of actually widespread interest and taste when it comes to movies. With books, I'm more narrow. My absolute favorite books are The Lord of the Rings and my Conan books, which have all the original Conan stories by Robert E. Howard in them. I have read all the stories several times. That's how good they are. By the way, Conan from the original stories is my absolute favorite character when it comes to literature. That character is so good. How about we go back to the video?
big difference is this: vinyls cost a lot more. Physical assets are pricey. The average new book is over $20, and the Criterion movies at Barnes & Noble are around $40. There's a reason the money followed streaming services. It is a lot cheaper.
Yeah,
But being
sure.
expensive is the important part, because the willingness to pay a high price correlates with the value one puts on the product.
Exactly. And I rather pay. Oh my god, the green screen. I rather pay a good chunk amount of money for something that I really want than paying the same amount of money for something that I don't want or don't care about.
I could easily spend $500 on a collection of my favorite albums, and for me and many other people, that would be a substantial sacrifice. It will
Yeah.
cost you something to own, and we are actively seeing Gen Z make that sacrifice. Why? Why is this generation willing to make that choice? This
Well, back in the day, people had no choice. But I can tell you that it's literally the same. If you buy it and own it, then you own it. You do with it whatever you want, right? That's a huge point. It's not just money thrown out. I mean, sure, I've had a lot of VHS tapes that I threw away. Because who the hell watches VHS, right? And that's a lot of money that I just threw away. Yeah? That's just life, I guess.
is the core of everything. It's because of identity. When I buy a DVD, a book, vinyl, or anything else, I am claiming that this is worthy of my sacrifice because it expresses my interest. I am willing to not buy other things with my money because leaning into my interest helps form my identity.
Exactly.
That is why we buy DVDs. We tell the world when we buy a DVD, I like this thing, and I paid a high price to express it because it is valuable to me.
Also, if you buy a DVD, just a Godzilla DVD, the Godzilla -1, your money goes to that thing. If I pay for Netflix, my money goes to things that I don't even want. For example, Netflix has to put German productions onto the servers. They have to. It's a law. And I never watched any of that shit. Ever. I have to pay for it, even though I would never watch that shit. But I have to pay for it. That's also a reason, I would guess, why why people wouldn't want to, do that. At least that's for me. I don't want to support that shit. I mean, there is a reason that German movies are not successful outside of Germany. With maybe very, very small exceptions from every couple of decades. Like Lola Runs or The Life of the Others. I know that these movies were even successful outside of Germany. Or Das Boot. I remember that movie was successful outside of Germany. But that's exceptions. By the way, German movies, they're either dramas or comedies. And yes, I'm not kidding, comedies. And comedies are even the most made. If you go into a German cinema and look for German movies, they are most likely comedies. And no, I don't watch that stuff.
Every generation always goes on the long struggle to find out who they are. Then Gen Z honestly has it harder than anyone else before them. The generation is desperate to grab a hold of something that's real. They want to form their own versions of themselves without the influence of the internet. That is why we are flocking to DVDs. And it is a really good thing. There's no telling what direction we will go next. I'll see you next time.
Good video. This was a great video. I think I could agree with him on everything. Yeah. He's right. And I'm personally happy to see that Gen Z goes out. They literally go out of their way to own things and develop their own taste, their own character. I think that's a good thing. And with that, we are at the end of this video. If you liked it, give it a like. If you want to see more stuff like this, subscribe. And let me know in the comments what you think. Bye bye.